think I remembered to fix the camera. Let me just double check that. Pretty sure I did. Yeah, we're good to go. Whoop whoop. Hello, my name is Mordred Viking, and I'd like to welcome you to this new game of Hearts of Iron 4, Man the Guns. So last night we did finish off the Dutch game. Basically, Fortress Britain fortressed up to such an extent that it was basically impossible to defeat them, even though we'd wiped their navy out, and also the American navy. So it kind of got a little bit boring, because I had no real interest in trying to build up enough marines to actually land and take something. They had like 500 divisions defending it. So we're going to start a new game. And I'm going to do something which I don't usually do. I'm going to play a nation that I have played before. And I'm going to play it in the same way as I have played them before. And the reason for that is because they have added exile mechanics. So even if your country is defeated, you can now fight on, and I want to see how that works. And there is one country which really quite famously fought on bloody hard after their country as a whole had fallen, and that was Poland. After the centuries in which the Polish nation has been divided between three empires, Poland now stands independent once again. But its position is not an easy one. In the east, the Soviet Union has not forgotten the humiliating defeat in the Polish-Soviet War. In the west, German Führer Adolf Hitler makes no secret of his desire for more living space, and that is the former German areas now under Polish control will be the first step to achieve it. So we have no national spirit, apparently. The Baltic Alliance, one can never have too many friends. Draw closer to Britain, the British are committed to protect our independence in the face of aggressors. We need to make the necessary gestures of appreciation. And why should we fight when we are more alike than different? No, we are going to do this historical. So I know I kind of suggested that I would be doing a non-historical playthrough after the Dutch game. You kind of have to do the Polish historically because we want to go exile. So let's take a quick look at the game rules. Do I want to tweak these? Because last time it did actually just result in billions and billions of troops being on the field. I'm going to leave this as is. I think I'm going to leave just absolutely everything on default. And I was watching a little bit of Shenrir's playthrough last night. And where's the fragment options? Is that what this stuff is? It is. So you can start with like the UK fragmented to England, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, and you can do that for a bunch of different countries. We might need to try that in the future. But not this one. Not this one. So we're going to play as Poland. We are going to play on veteran because I do still want things to be a little more difficult for myself. But we're going to leave everything else just normal. And goes nothing. So, the last time I did this, I basically set up a defensive line around Warsaw, and I think it was Lvov, and then tried to defend along this river here in order to hold on to Danzig. The really important thing is Danzig cannot fall, because if Danzig falls, then I cannot escape. And I need to make sure that I have a port available just before the country itself falls so that I can retreat to Britain. So Danzig is not allowed to fall, and of course UI didn't load, so we have to restart the game. I hate that bug. I always forget about it. Because it doesn't happen in any other Paradox game, it's just Hearts of Iron. I'm just going to pause YouTube so you don't need to see a black screen. Alright, play. Let's do this. Bob gave me some bits. Here's to a great Hoi 4 stream. Thank you very much for that, Bob. I appreciate that support. How does Exile work? I don't actually know. That's why I'm trying this. Just finished playing The Witcher 3. Is this Poland overload? No, no. With The Witcher 3, it's always good. Basically, what I think it is you get a new legitimacy score. Then the higher your legitimacy, the more free stuff you get. So, like, factories, manpower that trickles in, resources, that type of thing. But I don't know for sure, because I have not played as an Exile. And I'm very, very curious, because there's quite a few allied nations that play in Exile. And I really want to see, because I want to see what kind of things Kaiserreich can do with it. I'm curious. Right, let's try that again, shall we? Not tabbing out this time. Historical, veteran, start. Hey, Katie. It's interesting that for the country... something modifiers, they have gas use. It suggests the AI sucks at gas. Sorry, I'm not able to pass that one. So the question is, will Mordred hold on long enough for the Russians to declare on them, screwing them and the Allies over? Last time it was actually the Russians that really messed us up. I think they may actually have declared war before the Germans did. Anyway, let's see what we have to play with. Oh, and this is also with field marshals. I wasn't playing with field marshals before. Like, seriously, the last time I played as Poland was pretty much at release. So we do have 40 units. We will need to defend Prussia. We'll need to have a token force against the Soviets and then a major force against the Germans. Infrastructure was also a thing that didn't exist. Well, it existed, but it didn't boost production and resource growth. We are going to need military factories. Right, so let's see where the natural defensive lines are before we make any decisions. So like I said last time, we held on to Łódź and Warsaw. Basically held this little corridor and then this river. I think we did push hard to take Prussia out. Because if you can take Königsberg, then they cannot reinforce. And I think we do start with some cavalry. So we are going to be using our Polish winged hussars to great and glorious effect. Let's put you all in a separate force. And we're going to call these, of course, the winged hussars. What colour should the winged hussars be? Let's give them the chevrons and we'll make them red. What colour is Poland's like pinky colour? Pinky red. Let's make them the colour of Poland. Something like that. Alright, so that's my Polish hussars, the winged hussars. The sliders where you make Germany harder or easier. Oh, I see. They added gas. No. Gas is in the American petrol. Gotcha. I keep thinking gas is in, like, poison gas. I was like, pretty sure that's not a thing they would add to this. They added petrol consumption, meaning on the harder setting the UI uses less petrol, so it suggests there is an AI problem with consumption. I see what you mean now, okay. Yeah, that's what threw me. Gasoline. Gas. Because we were talking about Germany, I was like, I also need to decide what to research. I think the research is gonna have to be construction. Production. Don't think I need to bother with synthetic oil and mechanical engineering. The construction is going to be the most important decision. So let's just take a look at our focus tree and then we can have a look at theirs. So we do have the Polish tree. Research bonus for industry, 70 days. That would allow me to get dispersed or concentrated industry. Or it would allow me to get construction potentially faster. How long is construction going to take me to get right now? 178 days. Yes, we could actually get that faster. So let's start researching something else. Maybe a land doctrine? Grand battle plan, that is the most defensive. We want to get prepared defenses, if we can. So we're going to need land experience. We're probably going to want artillery support. We're going to want, not maintenance companies, engineering, which we have already. Then yeah, let's get the 1918 CKM for the defensiveness. Let's do that instead of construction, then we can maybe switch afterwards. Okay, focus is going to be the central region strategy. But let's see what the other options are. Expansion of new towns, more factories, more infrastructure, more factories. Now, one thing I do need to consider here is the more factories we build, the more factories Germany is going to take. Oh, hold on, that's specifically for construction. Oh, no, we actually want the 4-year plan. Hold your horses. Cancel that. Thank you for the cancelability, that's so helpful. That's building slot and infrastructure, building slots, military factories. Prepare for the next war, land doctrine. We are going to want land doctrine. Land doctrine, land doctrine. 300% research bonus for motorized. The Polish Hussars really do ride again. Okay, here we go. The Hell fortified area. Add land forts, add coastal forts. Add 6 forts to Katowice. Anti-tank guns. Support artillery army modernization. Airbase, I don't think I'm going to worry too much about air power. I'm not going to worry too much about shipbuilding. I just hope that I can escape. And then strengthening the Polish state, political power, Polish militarism, army experience, recruitable population, war support, effective partisans. That's pretty nice. Deterrence, military construction speed. Well, that's a huge bonus. Land fort construction plus 20%. Okay, so we were going to want defensive bonus. Now, is there anything that we need to do to get Britain to guarantee us? Or is that just something which is going to happen? Poland first, stability bonus, that's nice. Polish revanchism. Oh, that's between internationalism and Poland first, okay. Poland first allows us to go authoritarian, which is fascist. No, it's either. And then liberalism is the democratic path. Intervention focus, we can send volunteers. Draw closer to Britain. So we need to get that before the war starts. There's a lot to do. There's an awful lot to do. That's why I'm looking at this in a fair amount of depth. Because the decisions we make and the order in which we make them are important. They are very important. Okay, so next up, I think... do I want to bother with infrastructure? I'm not convinced we're going to have the time. Because we need to get civilian factories down, we need to get military factories down, we need to get forts down. The military factories, I think we will wait until we have defensive focus. So we're going to get construction, which will allow us to get a couple of civilian factories. I'm not going to bother with any of those. We're going to get the 4-year plan for the... God, that's only one technology, though. Nope, cancelling that again. We're going to get strengthen the Polish state, defensive focus, because that's a permanent bonus. And then that research is going to be construction, because now we're not going to have a bonus to it. Okay. Development. Let's get some civilian factories going. Let's put them both in Danzig. Shift clicking isn't working. Right, that's going to be good. Then factories, I think we're just primarily... Actually, what are the unit set up right now? So we've got recon. We got actually a fairly decent body of infantry. I would very much like to have support artillery, and we definitely want engineer company. So engineers require support equipment, that's it. Support artillery would require artillery as well. I'm not going to bother too heavily with artillery. We are going to want engineers. And then maybe 1 point on artillery. I think I'm just going to cancel aircraft completely. And then naval production is going to be conquest. Okay. Right, then let's split you in half. Well, actually, let's... Hang on, we've got some cavalry here. Alright, bloody hell, we have a lot of cavalry. Interesting. And then we have 2 units of mountaineers, which are specialists. And then we have got 28. So you guys are going to be drilling. You guys are going to be drilling. And you guys aren't. So you are going to be my German frontier. With an offensive line to there. Commanded by... So we've got Winterslaw Anders, Panzer leader. Our most offensive guy is Roman Abraham. So probably him. We have a recon bonus person with an extra trait. We have a defensive doctrine. Defensive general. He's a field marshal, so he's going to be our overall commander. So we've got Kowalski... No. Sikorsky. So Sikorsky... Whoops. Oh no, that's right. All of these are going to be under Sikorsky. And Sikorsky is going to be the boss man. Because he's my most defensive. He's also good with supply, which is useful. Alright, so Sikorsky's going to be the boss. Do we have any more defensiveness that we can do? Reinforce rate and division recovery rate. I think I'm going to hold off for now, because I'd like to get something like Unyielding Defender if possible. Need Polish tanks. We're not going to have nearly enough time to get Polish tanks. And sorry, I just realised that chat has been whizzing by. Let me see if I can catch up a little bit here. It's easier... Oh, yeah, using gas is easier than filling fuel or petrol. Fair enough. And yeah, they've said numerous times they're not going to be using poison gas. Or anything else controversial in that way. That's just inviting the kind of attention they don't want to deal with. They were asked several times at PDXCon, actually. It kind of got annoying. I'm sure it's more annoying for them. Yeah, we are definitely going to be building Fortress Poland here. Defences will be going up. I feel like whenever I play this game I was focused more on the political tree. I generally do too, though I love my industry. I usually focus industry and then political, but I don't think we're going to have the time for it, so we're going to go politics first. And then probably industry or maybe the doctrines. And that's something I've never done. I never really bother focusing with, or I never bother with doctrine focuses. Never played as Poland, never looked at the tree. They've had a tree since release. They were one of the pre-orders. If I'm going to pull out, maybe it's not worth building factories and making the German war machine stronger. Yeah, I know, but I also need guns to hold out, so it's difficult. Playing as Poland now is Gdansk. That's true, Field Marshal, thank you. Yeah, I've been playing since Monday. New game, because I did the Netherlands the last couple of days. How is it not a preview? If we're going to go into exile, is there a point building the fortress? Yes, because it puts a hell of a lot of weight off of France. And the longer France can hold out, the stronger France gets. And a strong France is a good France for us. Right, generals. So this is going to be the main defensive force, so we're probably going to put Roman Abraham in charge of that flank. The winged hussars are going to need somebody who is good with cavalry. Do we seriously not have anyone that's good with cavalry? Interesting. Well, I think that Anders is going to have that then. And then the Mountaineers. Possibly the Trickster? Maybe the Offensive Doctrine? Actually, no, the Offensive Doctrine should be the Winged Hussars. Except that he is a Field Marshal. Alright, let's start another army group. Let's put the Hussars... Where are they? Oh, that was the Hussars. With the Offensive Doctrine guy, Kopansky. Then we've got the Mountaineers, which are going to have the Trickster. And then these 7 will have Bortnowski. And these guys are going to be holding the entire Russian front. Good luck with that. Red line, they basically saying we don't stand a chance. I would be inclined to agree with you. And then we've got the cavalry who are going to deploy here with the sole purpose of taking Königsberg. Now, is there not a way of setting your aggressiveness? Oh, that's new. Don't think consolidation was a thing before. Where's the aggressiveness nowadays? I remember that's the thing they changed, and I couldn't find it again. Oh, here it is. Be aggressive. Alright, and then do we have any mountains? Let's have a look at the new map modes. Terrain. I literally just want the terrain map mode. That's F5. There we go. It's a bit weird that even if you're selecting the map mode here, it doesn't select it. You have to still use the hotkey. Alright, so F5 is terrain map mode. This is not really telling me very much. Oh, yes it is. That's marked. No, it's not. I was expecting it to colour things differently depending on the map, on the terrain. Plains, forest, hills, urban. So we have mountain divisions despite the fact that we have almost no mountains. Here are the mountains. I'm not really expecting that to be a problem. So what I might do is make the mountain divisions my Katowice, Krakow garrison. So let's pull you back just one tick and then put these 2 here. Because if you can hold this, this is a major industrial centre. And because it's urban, you usually can hold on to it a little bit longer. Okay, good. Do we have a navy? We do, actually. Interesting. Air Force? Also, we do. Actually, a fairly large Air Force. Interesting. We've got quite a lot of manpower. Alright, so let's have you doing air training. Let's have you doing air training. Now, we must remember to stop these guys training once they are fully trained. Deselect that, then let's have the Navy drilling. However, I would like for you to split off and repair should you require that. And then also the subs. Split off. Train. And we do need... So, this is one of the decisions we need to make. I really want army experience so that we can spend it on doctrines. So do we want to invest in spending some of our weapons, which are going to be at something of a premium, in order to train? Because you do spend weapons and manpower doing so. I think so. Everyone is going to be training. Okay. I think we're ready. I think we are ready to unpause in just a minute when I finish reading chat. Haha! Remember to take a look at the factories you get through focuses or off-map factories you can keep. True. I somewhat suspect that they haven't updated this tree with the off-map factories. They didn't exist when it was first implemented. Could convert all the civilian factories to militaries, so the Germans get militaries and get manufacturing into a decent army. True, but I need to build fortifications. Fortifications are integral to holding Poland. Does this DLC actually make naval combat mean something, or does it need more work? Naval combat is actually really good now. I was really enjoying the combat yesterday. Especially submarines. Submarines are worth building. And if you want to see that in play, then check out the YouTube series, which you can find on youtube.com/MordredViking, where I'm playing as the Netherlands. There's going to be a lot of naval play there. Did I notice if tanks are buffed? I heard they're buffing armor because 40 tank meta is no longer valid. I have not noticed if they've buffed tanks, but I don't really know what the stats were before. Maybe the new ship designer provides some AA and stuff to combat kamikazes and bombers. It does. You can basically build dedicated anti-air ships now, which is kind of what I was doing with my destroyers yesterday, because I was by far losing more ships to Britain's naval bombers than I was to their actual navy. Okay, let's go speed 3 just initially, and then we'll probably bump up to speed 5. We are in fact losing fuel straight away. That's not good. Although it's going to take some time to happen, so I think I can stave off the inevitable for a bit of time. Also, you were suggesting that I go and check to see what factories, if I get any that are off page. No. There are no off-map factories, I'm fairly sure of it. And we're going to want to get at least 2 land doctrines. We're going to want to get these 2. So we will need to move down there. So we're going to get to defensive focus, then probably switch over to here. Maybe the 4-year plan. Alright, let's work this out. So it's now January 36. The war usually kicks out in 39. That gives us 3 years. 3 years. That's 3 times 365. I want to work out roughly how many focuses I can get through. Times 365 and 3 divided by 1095 divided by 70. I can get through 15 focuses. Okay, I'm slightly better shape than I was kind of panicking. So that one, then that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I'm not going to be able to do any of this stuff. It's going to have to be just these 4. 5 with the research slot. Okay. Am I planning to fight Germany? We're going to bloody well try. I'm not expecting to beat Germany, but we are going to fight them, yes. How's Mordred not counting his fleet first? It's because the Polish fleet doesn't really match up to much. 5 ships, 3 subs and 2 destroyers. But they are getting a ton of naval experience. In fact, you can really see the difference in experience generation here. Drilling ships gets you tons. Drilling everyone else, not so much. But actually fighting battles with the navy doesn't get you very much. Deficit in terms of guns. I should probably be focusing the gun production a little more heavily than these 2. Let's do that. Oh, you were talking about the naval losses. I see what you mean. We will be forting up, but it's too early to do that. We need to build up industry in order to fort up. So probably mid 37/38 is when we will fort.